So you are watching Panaf Tv and this is WNG Show. You can check out my Facebook page and it's called White Naija Girl. You can check out my background there. Today we are going to talk about marriage and how to find the right person. And I've got here a speaker and the life and the heart behind marriage for real, Adaeze Chiwoko. Thank you so much for joining me today.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
I would like to encourage you on Facebook to share this video. If you are a single person, how do you know that this is Mr. Right?
You could have a guy that is all over you, tells you he loves you from head to your toe. You are the sugar in his tea. However, you've noticed that when he communicates with his mother, or when he's around his mother, he's not so respectful, he's not helpful, he's not courteous towards her, he's not particularly loving towards her. That would be a big red flag to me, because this is the woman that gave birth to you. Another red flag for me is, how they handle money, because one of the biggest issues, in fact, I think it is the biggest issue in marriage and the cause of divorce is finances.
Finances, that's right. Yeah.
And it does show a level of immaturity. Not really having the same vision and the same heart on things. You're thinking of this, he's thinking of that, because people have the misconception that you and your spouse have to be exactly the same. Me and my husband are completely different. But we did share a vision in regards to, we wanted a great peaceful home, we wanted children, we wanted to invest, we wanted to leave legacy, we wanted to raise a godly home. Girl, you can't change him. You do not have the power to change any man that does not want to be changed. So, I really do advise people to not get into relationships in the hope that it'll be okay if I can just change him. He's not changing because of you. The only person that can change a man is God, and that's only if he wants to be changed.
We are in a West Indian center in Manchester, and they are sponsoring us with this building. I also am wearing a turban from Royalty Ashoke, and she's sponsoring us with this design. This video is filmed by MAGNUM N3 media production company, and you can check that page out as well as MAGNUM N3. If you would like to sponsor us, please get in touch on this page, on a Facebook page of Panaf TV, or you can contact me on White Naija Girl as well. So what are the things that we can expect in the first 5 years, and how to overcome these issues that probably will come?
Getting married is so exciting. The build-up and the wedding and the honeymoon and even the first few months living together and all that. And then I find that a lot of people get into shock. It's a period that I call the meshing period. Basically, you're taking two people who have completely different backgrounds, and, different complexities that only come out within marriage. You're trying to bring these two together, and it is a fight. So when you get married, spiritually you become one, but then physically, to actually get to that point of becoming one takes a little bit of conflict and takes a little bit of movement. If you use this period when you are hitting the brick wall sometimes and maybe arguing a little bit more than you expected to learn and observe, don't take everything too personally.
Right.
I think what was important for my husband and I was to recognize that we're actually on the same side of the boxing ring. We're on the same team. At the end of the day, we are in this together. We want this to work. We are in love with each other. So a little bit of disagreement doesn't have to be a full-blown, fight against each other, because we're on the same side. I find that couples just do not communicate enough. They feel like they're talking at each other, but they're not doing hardly enough listening. They're not doing hardly enough understanding. They're not really taking that time out, and they're not talking about everything. Even when it comes to sort of sex, people just don't talk.
How to keep the fire burning in our relationship.
That, my friends, doesn't just happen. You're not just lucky to have it that way. People that have that are very intentional. You have to spark the fire, and then you have to keep prodding at it and putting more gasoline and doing whatever it is that you need to do, whatever it takes that you need to do to keep it going, because you know what happens, guys? It's easier to maintain a fire than it is to start one up again once it's dead. There's a number of things that you can do to keep the passion going. We talked about communication, everybody talks about that. And you mentioned dating before. So one of the mistakes that people make is they have children and they center their whole relationship around the children. You know, if we're going out with the kids. If we're doing anything, it's all about the kids. If we're going to bed, we've got the kids in the bed with us. At least a couple of 3 times a year, a weekend away. Doesn't have to be anything over expensive, but just book a hotel sometime without the children and just be lovers. Being free enough to say, I need this. And, you know, plenty of bedroom action is great, but not bedroom action for the sake of it. Bedroom action where there's communication, where you can say, this is what I want, and it's benefiting both of us, and, you know, it's exciting, and you change it up a little bit. Don't get stuck in a rut. You know, don't get used to the same things. And also try and maintain a friendship bond that, you know, is so strong between you two. You guys are, like we said before, you're on the same team, and there's nothing like knowing that this person is your best friend, you know, and you guys can just...
And you can count on him.
You can count on him, you can rely on him. He's always got your back. That is such a turn on, guys. Always got your back. There's something that my husband does that, you know, just makes me feel like a girl, and it's whenever we're walking, he will reach out his hand to hold my hand. Those little things, it doesn't have to be massive, because people say, oh, you know, well, you know, we've got the children, and, you know, we're so busy, and we haven't got enough money. The little things, those little efforts. And another thing, a final thing I'll say on keeping your marriage hot is learning how to celebrate each other. Not just a simple text, just saying, babe, you know what, I'm thinking about you. It doesn't take anything from you.
We've got some questions, actually. Many men are afraid of true, intimate sharing of feelings and thoughts, even afraid to date the wife, intimacy avoiders. How one support the development of the desire and trust to open up?
So sometimes you have to lead the way. Sometimes you have to be, I won't use the word teacher, but sometimes you have to be an influencer and show them how nice it can be. And maybe for a period, it might be for a year, it might be for 2 years. You lead the way in that scenario. In that case, you're the one that is, leaves yourself vulnerable with him. You're the one that, you know, shows him how nice intimacy is. You're the one that, you know, at the moments when he does open up, he gives you a little window. You show him that he can trust you with that, you know, and you tell him how much you appreciated the fact that he opened up. You've got to influence and, yeah, teach a little bit, show the way, and over time they learn and they change.
How about a guy that is boring?
Everybody, even the most boring people, have things about them. They have a uniqueness about them. You tap into that uniqueness and draw it out and encourage them in that area, you'll find that actually your husband is probably a lot more interesting than you thought he was. Little baby steps, push him as far as he can go comfortably. Let him enjoy that for a little while and then do a little bit more.
And you try to make, and it's not working out.
You've got to understand that this person has developed this way of thinking or this personality over years. And actually, that's the beauty of marriage. You've got years to work it out, you know? And so I think just being a bit tolerant and patient and knowing that wherever he's weak, you can be strong. Wherever you're weak, he can be strong. We don't both need to be exciting. You know, we don't both need to be out there go-getters.
We need to just try and appreciate each other.
Appreciate,
we have a lot to learn from
accept each other for who you are and learn to see the beauty in it, you know. Don't try and make your spouse more like you. There's a reason that you need that in your life.
How you deal with a lady who is temperamental?
Don't go up and down with them. What a temperamental person needs you to do is just be steady
and patient.
Because if when they're down, you're down with them, and then when they're up, you're up with them. You know, you're just riding their wave. The best thing to do is you just stay steady. See the signs, you know, when they're going into their little moods, and leave them to it. Because the other thing is you can sort of unknowingly feed that behavior. But if you are staying as a calming factor, they end up really recognizing that it's all on them. And they come to a point eventually when they realize that they've got to do something to start controlling themselves. You be the person that is there to maintain peace.
What if you are married to a commander, always angry type of husband who doesn't even shake his way, just asking?
I would kill him with love. The biggest mistake you can make is to get into it with them. Make him realize that actually, I don't have to be so, because this woman is for me anyway. So, you know, learn how to use softness, learn how to use gentleness, learn how to use love. Understand your husband, what makes him angry. Be the person that when he's angry, he turns to you and says, babe, you know, I'm angry about this because this person did. You know, you become his best friend even in his anger. And people see femininity as a weakness. I've learned that actually that's my strength. And when I tap into that femininity and use that in a vulnerable way with my husband, he responds so well. He realizes that he doesn't have to be the hard man in the house because nobody's fighting.
What would you say as a last tip, something that you would like to share today with the viewers?
If we can learn to be praisers over being complainers, you know, it's so easy to be able to see the things that are going wrong. They always shine brighter, don't they? And then we focus our attention on those things and we don't put enough attention on the great stuff, the great things that your husband or wife is doing. It doesn't even have to be great things. The little things that they do day to day to day. You know, they made you breakfast, they cooked dinner, they took the bin out, they picked up the children. Just praising and saying, you know what, thank you, you're a great father. Thank you, you're an amazing mum. Your cooking is just the best. You look beautiful. You're so handsome. You're wonderful at your job. I'm so grateful to be with you. You will, if you begin to focus on the positive and look for as many ways a day that you can give praise instead of giving negative comments, you will see your home transform.
And I actually, this is something I've started to do. I have something I call the gratitude journal, and very consciously I write down at least 5 things every day. For example, if I see a disabled person on the street and I say, thank God, I've got legs, I've got everything I need, and I'm so blessed. And I write these things down, at least 5, sometimes 15. You know, I've got different things.
So imagine if we do that in our marriages, how much you would see.
I think we had a great show here, so we're just going to say goodbye to everyone from Nigeria, Dublin, Germany, Italy, Finland. Thank you so much for watching today.